Cloud service models. Infrastructure as a service. Third-party provided hardware, virtual or physical servers, firewalls, and networks. Consumer is responsible for patching and maintenance of software. This would be a service like GoGrid, Rackspace, Amazon Elastic Compute Infrastructure. This is where you might have a custom software application and you need it to be run on a traditional server, be it Windows, Linux, Unix, and perhaps it runs on a database engine like Microsoft SQL or Oracle DB2. And so needing an actual server for this to be installed and run in the traditional model, you would have to go and procure that hardware. In the cloud model, there are providers who are essentially renting out either actual hardware to you or virtual servers that are running on their own hardware in their data center. You pay a monthly subscription fee to essentially rent that resource. You're responsible for installing the software and maintaining it over time, but you don't have to, again, put in that large capital expenditure to get that package off the ground. Platform as a service provides a virtual software computing platform, such as a database instance. Maintenance of hardware and software is provided by the vendor. Examples would be Microsoft SQL Azure, Amazon Relational Database Service. So using Microsoft SQL Azure as an example, let's say I have an accounting application, and that accounting application uses Microsoft SQL as the back-end database to store the data. With Platform as a Service on Microsoft SQL Azure, you are just renting the database instance. You're not worried about the server, the antivirus software, how it's configured, or any of those nuts and bolts. They're just providing you with the actual SQL database engine. You load your data into that engine and you access it over the internet. You don't have to worry about software updates on the database engine, patching, maintenance of hardware, or any of those other extraneous details when you're doing a platform as a service model. Software as a service. Third party provides end-to-end software, hardware, and connection for a single software package. Maintenance of hardware and software are provided by the vendor. Examples, Intuit QuickBooks Online. So in this example, it's even further abstracted from the previous two examples. With infrastructure as a service, you might actually be renting physical hardware in another location. Platform as a service moves you into, say, the database engine. Software as a service moves you into the actual application that you're curious in using. With Intuit QuickBooks Online, you're not responsible for the server that the software is running on. You're not responsible for the database located on that server. All you're getting is the application, and everything else is taken care of in the background. Another example of this would be Office 365 with Exchange Online or SharePoint Online, where Microsoft is taking care of the hardware and the software and providing you an interface to configure your users and use the software without ever having to worry about the underlying infrastructure. Easy to provision services, but could be difficult and costly to migrate to. A good example of this is if you're already on Microsoft's Exchange Mail platform in-house. It's very easy to actually provision the server and migrate your mailboxes onto a new platform when you need to retire due to age or just needing to migrate to the new version. It's a little bit more difficult to migrate into Exchange Online. It's a totally new system. It's not interconnected to your previous system. And we have to pick up your email and transfer it over the internet into their system. Once done, it's very easy to support and maintain, easier for people to work with than, say, the in-house Exchange Mail platform, but it can be time intensive and costly to move a service into the cloud. There's also a lot more planning that has to go into a move of this magnitude. You're changing how people access resources, how they get to their data, and a lot more has to be done to ensure that it's properly planned and all the bells and whistles and I's and T's are dotted in order to make that work and be a success.